Thanks, Susie. That was great.
Yeah, Susie, that was amazing.
So we're here, as you just saw in the film, Ashleigh Johnson, Krikorian, Rachel Fattal. You guys kind of just hit on it, but the first thing I wanted to ask was, Ashleigh, I'll start with you. First impressions. By the way, they hadn't seen this before at all, so they're watching it for the first time with all of you. What was your first takeaway?
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. Susie, thank you so much for showcasing our team in that way and just telling each of our stories so well. And yeah, I heard it was going to be a slam piece, so I'm relieved.
Now, you told me in the lobby that you've been starting those rumors.
I was starting that rumor. But it was really, really special to see our journey in review and the tough times and the really good times too, so thank you.
Adam?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, just that I think for everyone, for all of you, you see the Olympics once every 4 years. It's on NBC. They do a great job of kind of promoting the sport and promoting the Olympic Games in general. But what you don't see is the day-to-day. You don't see the ups and the downs, the laughter, the tears, and hopefully you got a glimpse of that today. I thought that was very well portrayed, especially with this group. And honestly, that's, to us, at least for me, that's the journey. It's actually not the 2 weeks that you all see on TV. It's the day-to-day experience. It is the lows, it's the highs, coming after the lows that make it super special. And obviously it's the relationships and the lessons learned along the way. So I thought that was very well done. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone for showing up today. Pretty awesome.
Rachel?
Yeah, you promised us before that we would laugh and we would cry, and I think we definitely got some tears and we got some good giggles out of it. For me, it's the appreciation, right? Obviously, a lot of work went into putting this together, and a lot of work goes into what we get to do for you guys, and it's just a lot of gratitude. Being a part of a team is something that's amazing. Having anyone want to highlight your team is even more amazing, and I couldn't be more thankful, and I know we're all up here super grateful for everything, for your guys' support, for our family's support, for the team behind the team, and it takes community, and we're so very blessed for that community.
That's good stuff. Thanks for all those answers, guys. Ashleigh, I'll kind of come back to you. You talked a bit about the piece being an inspiration, and we've talked a lot about over the years, you kind of embracing this role as a role model. Even in a loss, I think the people that look up to you, not that they don't want you to win, but you still carry so much weight for them, whether you win a gold medal or you don't. What did you kind of learn about the impact you still have for people, even if you're not in first place?
Yeah, I think, just speaking to impact, I think sport just transcends sport in a way. All of the lessons, all of the relationships we gain in sport, the people that we become, it's bigger than the sport we play. And I think that I take that lesson to my life. I take that lesson to how I approach community, how I approach impact, and I'm so grateful to see so many young girls here, young boys here, just here to support us, and it speaks to how much bigger than just the game we play, the things we do in the water this is, and I'm really grateful to be in this position, and yes, it carries a lot, but it's a privilege, and that pressure pushes me forward. I know each of you represents in your own way, and it pushes all of us forward.
I think we had, 30 people from the Patriot Aquatics Club here?
Woo!
Very cool, very cool. Adam, journey came up a lot in that feature. I was curious, is there something before you start, you're at the beginning of a new quad right now, something you tell the team when you get them together? How do you describe for those that haven't embarked on an Olympic journey what they're getting into? Do you share something with the athletes before they launch into 4 years of this?
No, I leave that to them, just to tell the young ones. Honestly, it's you can't. I think part of the emotion also comes from. I'm just a firm believer in when it's all said and done. The reason why this journey is so special is because it literally takes everything. You learn so much about yourself through this process. That's one of the great gems of this journey, because it's so challenging, it's so competitive, it forces you to be vulnerable, It puts you in positions that are very uncomfortable. There's a saying, we certainly get comfortable being uncomfortable. And with that being said, I just think that, and you mentioned it, Greg, I think at the very beginning when you were speaking up here, is that when you just feel all these emotions when you're going through the process or towards the end of the process. And that means that you put a lot into it. And it's hard, you can't explain it. I can't sit in front of all of you. I think hopefully you can kind of feel it a little bit. But when I'm addressing the team for the very first time or for the first few times, you can't really, I don't think, adequately address it until you actually experience it and feel it. And that's what's special. I'm not saying you guys are outsiders, hopefully you've enjoyed following it, but I think that's what will, whether we have our similarities or differences, or our agreements or disagreements, that is the one thing that will connect all of us, staff and athletes. Difficulty that going through those challenging times and finding out a lot about ourselves and about who we are as people and as a team.
Rachel, watching this picture back in 2024, pretty hardcore. What's a fun memory that comes to mind? Something that made you laugh, or maybe you saw, or maybe it jogged your memory and brought you back to something that you really enjoyed from that run up to Paris?
Well, of course I'm sitting up here blinking like a deer in headlights. But honestly, watching that video, I was getting a big giggle out of Adam coaching. It brings you back really quickly. I haven't had him coaching me in a few months now, and boy, does it take you back real quick. No, but like he said, finding comfort in uncomfortable times, but also finding joy in hardship or uncomfortable times. And I think that's something that this team has always done a really good job of, is being able to find joy and happiness in even the hardest moments, whether it's coming together and finding that or individually finding that. And honestly, this team has been able to find that in amazingly tough moments. And I think that's something that's always been a testament to this team. There's been fun in really hard moments, and there's been fun in really easy moments. And fun is, that's why we start playing this sport, right? We love water polo. We love it because we have fun playing it. And to be able to keep having fun even at the highest level when you've been playing it for so many years, that's the goal. And I think that's something we can do.
We have so many young athletes here, high school age groups, so these next few questions, I think, trying to glean some things that you all maybe learned from Paris that they might be able to apply to the next game they play or the next tournament they have or whatever's kind of coming down the road. Adam, we'll start with you. And you talked a bit about the way the team kind of came together, and even though they didn't win, that you were so inspired and impressed by the way that they kind of were able to deliver an impact on the sport. And I think a lot of that speaks to team culture. I'm sure every athlete here has heard their coach talk about, we want to have a good team culture, we're trying to build this, it's a phrase you hear a ton. How did last year's team create a culture that was able to be so supportive of one another through all these challenging times?
Well, I think the first thing that pops in my mind is that it's not just last year's team. We're talking about a legacy that was started long before three of us. We can go down. There we go. Fading out, but it started long before us, and that's a culture that we just keep handing down. And I can't help but to think, I'm looking around the room and I see all these young girls here, and it's going to be on you guys. And honestly, and you might be like, me, and it's not necessarily about making an Olympic team, but it's about what are you going to do to inspire yourself, motivate yourself, or inspire your teammates, or inspire other people around you by how hard you work, how you handle resiliency, how you handle the difficult times. I say this all the time. I said it to our cadet team group, who a couple of the women are in this room. Water polo is the easiest sport in the world to quit because it's the hardest sport in the world to play. So you have a choice. You can opt out, which, okay, go ahead and opt out. if you'd like, or you can be the brave one, and you can be the courageous one, and you can take on the challenge. I can sit up here and laugh and cry and be all emotional, but we can also be very competitive, and we can be very driven. And it's the combination of those two things, but we enjoy passing that culture down to the next generation. But I hope that in 10 years' time, in 15 years' time, in 30 years' time, if I'm still around, that we can look back and we can take pride in this generation, as she's falling asleep, this generation, passing it down to the next generation and watching them kind of fulfill what we had envisioned.
Ashleigh, the goal for Paris obviously was to win a gold medal. I think every athlete here can relate to a game they really wanted to win or an event they wanted to win and didn't go their way. The Olympics obviously the biggest stage. How do you process a loss? What do you do with a loss when you wanted to win a game so badly, you had worked hard for it, and it doesn't happen? And I wonder if that's something you could share with this group for their next loss, and I think they really wanted to win.
Yeah, you cry. No, it's hard. Obviously, like Paris, the Olympics, it's something that you dream of as a kid, something that you dream of as a team for many years, many months leading up to the event, and there's a lot of pressure around the event, a lot of expectations, and then when you don't get what you wanted, you're obviously going to be disappointed, and everyone can relate to something like that. But then you reflect, and like you take some months, and then you start reflecting, and there's lessons in losses, there's lessons in not getting what you want, and you can always move forward. And I think that if you have the perspective that you're going to lose every day, and like that's an opportunity to start getting better. I wish it didn't happen at the Olympics, but it also happened every day. Like I was training against the best players in the world. I was training under one of the best coaches in the world. I was in a high pressure environment, we all were, and we were losing every day. So loss became my friend, it became all of our motivators, it became all of our starting points, and we also find lessons. We find a way to move forward. We find something positive in those things, and it might not happen immediately. You might not just lose and be like, this is an opportunity. But it does happen eventually. You can look back and everyone in this sport is surrounded by a team. You're surrounded by teammates. You choose the teammates that you have in life too. And I'm watching this back, I'm listening to Adam's words, and I get a different perspective on our loss again. Like even after I've reflected, I've talked to my teammates, but getting to hear that was really special for me too, because I can see this in a different way. I can continue to learn from it and move forward and take it forward in life with me. Like that loss is a beginning. I wanted the win, but I will still move forward. We all will.
That's well said. And then Rachel, in this story, in this journey of 2024, we talked about adversity the team faced and how the group came together. And I think you had a line in there like when one of us is hurting, we're all hurting. I'm curious for the younger athletes, if they know someone on their team is struggling, what could they do? What did you do? What was your mindset going into practice? Like how could I be a helpful teammate? How can I pick someone up that maybe needs my support? Did you have a thought on how you entered those days, or what big picture you were trying to do for others, whatever adversity struck over the last 8, 12 years you've been involved in the team?
Yeah, I think this team, 2024, 2020, 2016, the team since I've been on it, we faced a lot of adversity. We could go back through all the different things that we faced, whether it's in the water and even more so out of the water. It's been a lot, which is almost mind-blowing when you think about it. You know, and it can be huge things, and it can be little things that you see day to day, and you know, you never know who's struggling and how they're struggling each day. And when you are around people, like we get to be around people, when you're around them 24/7, it's a little bit more obvious, but sometimes it's not as obvious. Sometimes you don't know exactly what's going on in someone's life when they leave the pool, right? Or if when you aren't around them. So showing up and trying to bring your best and trying to uplift everyone around you in any way you can, I think that's all you can do. So whether it's a word of encouragement or a hug or something super simple, just to reach out and touch someone and tell them like, hey, I'm here, hey, I see you, hey, I love you. There's so many different ways you can do it. And yeah, I think adversity was something that was huge and a daily thing for us this last quad, and we were lucky to be together for that, and it had a huge impact on all of us.
Any questions from the group here? There's a hand up if you want to just yell it out.
I just want to shout out one more time to Susie, because that was fire.
Woo!
All right, Susie, straight fire.
That's Susie's sister right there, guys. Give her a round of applause.
For the whole panel, but especially for Coach, something that was touched on in what we saw was the importance of celebrity in terms of growing the game and illuminating what these incredible women are doing. And you can count the number of male celebrities and male athletes on one hand that are really fighting for women's sports. We got Mr. Flav, right? Ashleigh Johnson. We just don't really have, Steph Curry, Jason Kelsey, we don't really have a lot of very A-list people riding for women's sports. What are your hopes for the next quad in terms of like how can our male athletes, male celebrities really just shine a light on what y'all are doing? Because obviously the product to athletes and what y'all bring is amazing.
I love that question. I have so many thoughts. The first thing I got to do is shout out my man, Flav. Like you said, he's one of those guys. And I got to be honest, I was a bit skeptical in the beginning, like, who is this guy? He's coming around, but this guy has been nothing but positive, enthusiastic, and he's done nothing but amazing things for our team, so thank you so much. And it is important. It is important. I tell, and obviously this is coming from a male, so I can't speak to the female side of things, but I will speak from my own experience. I've told the team this story. I grew up a Stanford women's basketball fan. I grew up in the Bay Area, and I went to women's basketball games because a friend of mine loved a girl who loved the women's basketball team. My PE teacher was a man. His daughter and me were good friends. He used to take us. There was a player by the name of Jennifer Azzi, who was my favorite player. He took me to women's basketball games. I think part of the reason why today I am coaching women is because that experience from ages 12 to 16, literally falling in love with a women's basketball team. Back when it wasn't that popular, there was no one there. I was sitting front row every single game. Now they sell out. And I say this to the women. I think it's great. It's amazing to have all these young girls here. And I don't want to take away from that. That's, you guys are the next generation, and you got to pass on all of these things that you're learning today. But how we move the needle, in my mind, is getting guys on board. And that's to take nothing away from all these women, but showing them what these women can do and how they can play and how competitive they can be and how resilient they can be. And that's when we go to games and I see young boys come up to Rachel and to Ashleigh and to Maddie and Courtney and all these people and they're dying for autographs, that just gives me, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it, because that, to me, that's a sign that we're moving the needle.
I'm just gonna add to that, and I'm gonna challenge the young girls in this room to be your own fans. Be the ones who move the needle, because Flav has made an incredible impact on our sport. His fame, his influence, his hype, that's been so incredible for us. And I just think that women's sports is on this like ledge right now, and we can be the ones to jump, we can be the ones to push, and go support other women. Be at their games, watch their games, like support your friends. You guys are going to college, be at those games, like be the biggest fans of women's sports. Of course, like men's sports gets a lot of money, a lot of attention, but the money will go where viewership goes. So watch the sports, cheer, be the players, just lead in that arena. And as players, especially in the collegiate arena, you're even more empowered to create your own narrative, create your own story, and tell the story that you want to see, the one that you want little girls who follow you to look up to, and just support the players you love. I think that's super important, and you're more empowered than you think you are. You have more power than you think you do, so use it.
There's a hand here next to Maddie.
I have a question for the players and the coach. What was it like mentally preparing for the Olympics, and like, what was the pressure?
So the question was around mental preparation for the Olympics and what the pressure was like. Rachel, you just dying to dive on that one?
I think one of the best parts about being on a team is that you never have to face anything alone, right? I'm in the water, but it's not just me in the water, it's me plus my 5 other teammates and the goalie in the water with me plus my other teammate. There's 13 of us on the team, right? And I have coaches. I never have to face anything alone. So sometimes things mentally scare you, or you're afraid, or you have nerves, or there's so many things. But knowing that you aren't alone, that you're with a team, right? I can share my fears, my thoughts, whatever it is, with someone else, the person next to me. For me, that alleviates it right away. And sometimes just saying those things out loud, it helps so much. This is going to be really embarrassing, but I stand in line. I wear number 4. I stand in line next to number, obviously, 3 and 5. Jenna wears number 5. We used to have what we called confessions before every game, where we would confess something that we were afraid of before every game. Just put it out in the air. Let your teammate know. Let people know, because then it is a weight off your chest, and someone else knows what you're thinking before you go into something that's really tough for you. So yeah, pressure is what you make of it, and if you let your team take it from you, your team can bear anything.
Was it like a confession like about water polo, or just like just in general, just getting some stuff off your chest? I get it. Other questions that right here in front in the blue pullover? Question was, what inspired you to play water polo? Ashleigh, do you want to go with that one?
Yeah, I was inspired to play water polo because I really didn't like swimming, and it was the other option. So me and my siblings all started swimming around the same time, and we all switched to water polo around the same time. But yeah, I was inspired to stay in it because it's such a challenging game in so many ways. Like, I could be social, I could be tough, I could be fun, I could just, express my full self in this sport and do it alongside my friends and my family. So I stayed in the sport for different reasons than I started it, but I love it.
There's a great story real quick about, did your coach challenge you? So Ashleigh was swimming in high school, and the coach said, essentially, if you win the state championship, right, in swimming, then you don't have to swim anymore. Yeah. You were like, bet.
Yeah, I won it. He thought that I would love it so much, like love winning so much, that I would stay in swimming. And I was like, threw my goggles on the floor, I was like, I'm done.
Very dramatic. Did someone up top have a question? Yes, go ahead.
I was wondering, like, for all of you, what was like the most important thing that you did to get to the place that you
question is, what's the most important thing you did to get to the place you are now?
I can answer that. The most important thing that I did was
win that
commit.
sprint. You already won one here. You already
No, on a serious note. Was just commit to it, you know? The practices, I mean, they're fun, but it's every day jumping in the water, the same thing over and over, listening to your coach and like doing the same reps, but like you really have to commit to something if you want to get to being excellent, and it takes a long time and it can be boring, but I committed and I found the fun in it. Like I found the fun in the jokes we make every day, the fun in the challenge, the fun in like missing a block, making a block, the process, all of it.
Yeah, I think one important thing is that there isn't one thing, right? And it's understanding that and accepting that it's a multitude of things, not one thing. There's a multitude of things that make us who we are. And when you start thinking about one thing, then you're hanging on that one thing, and if it goes wrong, you're down the drain. You have to understand it's a process, it's a journey. There are thousands of things that are all connected, that all add up to our success. And that is so important. I know we probably don't have the attention of all of the young girls here in the audience, but these days, more than ever, it's about not how good you can be one time, but how good you can be day after day after day after day after day in a bunch of different things.
All right, we have time for maybe just a couple more here. Down in front here. Specifically, your favorite Paris memory. I was already on the croissants. I was like, menus, pastries, that's where I go right away. Rachel, any favorite memories come to mind?
No, I'm just thinking about food. Like they did have a lot of cheese that you could try in the village. They had someone that was making fresh baguettes. That was pretty fun. Now that I'm thinking about it. And croissants.
There was like a coffee printer too, right? Did you print a picture on coffee? No.
I don't drink coffee.
Okay, I love you. Favorite croissant.
I'll say it. One time after a game, or I think it might have been after a practice, we were huddling up. We had a ritual when we got off the bus at the village. We'd huddle up, and we would, I would talk to them a little bit about the practice and what the plan was, and I kind of gather the group, and I'm talking, and all of a sudden, like, people are obviously distracted, like some of you are right now. Like, people are distracted, they're starting to talk to each other, there's a couple girls laughing.
No, we're just like elbowing each other. We're like,
Yeah, but you were laughing and giggling.
Yeah, some people were. Adam got so mad.
So mad. We all got in a lot of trouble.
Well, we're at the Olympic Games, right? We're supposed to be like locked in, guys. Like, why aren't we locked in? Like, no one's listening to me right now. And I was so pissed. Excuse my language that I used in the film, by the way, as well. But I was so pissed. And I kind of snapped at him and yelled at him, and then I walked away, and then I forget who told me. Someone was like, I think it was one of my assistant coaches. They're like, did you know that was Nadal and Alcatraz? Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz? Is that his name? Alcatraz.
Yeah, Alcatraz.
Alcatraz is the island.
That's the person. Yeah.
I felt like I was on an island. Because I was the only one who didn't see those two, and those two are like, we've talked about those two with our sports psychologists for forever, and they literally walked right behind us, and
so he comes back to us, and he's like, why didn't you guys tell me? Right, calm down.
It would have been a really cool moment, especially because those are two of the best players. Nadal's arguably the best player ever to play men's tennis. Alcaraz is the best right now. And those two, talk about how cool this is. These two are making millions and millions and millions of dollars competing and marketing deals, but they chose to play in the Olympics. They get 0 for it. They chose not only to play Olympics, but be roommates together and live in the Olympic Village. And when we're talking about the Olympic Village, people always think this is a glamorous place. Okay, this is not glamorous. You're like sleeping in a cardboard bed that is tiny. For me, it's fine. For Ashleigh, it's not. But it's amazing that those two just embrace it because of what the Olympic Games means. What the Olympic Games means. Yeah, and going back to, sorry, taking the mic here. Going back to the question, I forget who asked it earlier about what inspired you, is just, I was 10 years old when I drove down from Northern California to watch the Olympic Games in 1984. And I'll never forget watching the men's water polo team. Unfortunately, there was not women's water polo. There should have been in 1984. But I watched men's water polo, and I remember thinking to myself at that point, I wasn't sure I was going to be a men's water polo player or swimmer or whatever, what I was going to do. I was like, I got to do that. So, in 3 years time, this is our opportunity as a team, as spectators, as people who love the sport, to show what we can do for our sport, to inspire the next generation.
One more question here. All right, in the way back, they're all pointing at the same person.
What is the favorite feeling of being on the team?
What is the favorite feeling of being on the team? Rachel, Ashleigh, it feels like you.
There's definitely a few. I think like the feeling of coming together in a huddle is pretty cool. But I think probably one of my favorite feelings is if and when you're on the top of the podium and hearing the national anthem being played. I think it's goosebumps and all the feels, and I am a horrible singer, but I sing so loudly when I'm at this. But yeah, I think whether it's the World Championships or Olympic Games or any time you get to stand on the top of the podium and you get to hear our country's anthem being played, I think it's a super special moment, and to be able to stand up there with your teammates who are your best friends and your sisters, like Maggie touched upon, and I think it's a super special moment. I think it's a moment that I know I'll never forget, and I can remember each of them very, very vividly and clearly. That's one of my favorite moments.
Ashleigh?
For me, I think about trust. And on one side of this is the best feeling, and on the other side, it's the worst. On the best side, it's gaining and giving trust as a teammate. And then on the other side, it's losing trust. And I'll speak about the best feeling. So when you do your role so well that you gain trust from your teammate, or like you recognize your strengths and your weaknesses, and you recognize the strengths and weaknesses of the person on either side of you, that's like an unbreakable like bond of trust that you can build, and that's the trust that you hope for in a gold medal final, in a bronze medal final. That's the hope that carries you through the hardest days and like helps you laugh through tough times as well. And I felt those moments where somebody asked, how do you prepare someone to be in this team? And you can't, because it's a bunch of moments of gaining and losing trust. And then you're like new in this team, you're, as a goalkeeper, I can speak from my perspective, but you're like trying your best to prove yourself, and then one day like Rachel looks back and you make a block and she just like nods at you, and you're like, yes! You're like, I did it, I'm on the team now, you know? And it just, that's one of the moments that echo with you. When your teammates, you know you're doing your job, you know they see you, and they see your efforts, they see like the times where you failed, and they see the times where you've succeeded, and they just, you fit, you're part of the puzzle. So, yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Ashleigh. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Alan. Sure. Yes, what would you like to say? Flav wants the mic. Flav gets the mic.
Uh-oh, I didn't know you had skills. I didn't know you had skills. What's up? What's up? You want to do a gig? You want to turn this into a gig? Come on, let's go. Start beatboxing. I got the rhymes. Yo, in closing, I just wanted to give a few shout outs though, you know what I'm saying, that I didn't give early in the beginning. First of all, and Maddie, wherever you at, I love you. Yeah, girl. I usually say yeah, boy. Yo, great job this year. Great job this year. God bless you and your wonderful family. You know what I'm saying? What up, Rachel? Great job. You girls did a great job this year, man, and honestly, I'm just honored, you know what I'm saying, to really be representing you, you know what I'm saying, so, and guess what? We're going to get that gold medal, what, next year? Next year? Okay, next year. We're going for it. Now, also, I was outside signing a couple of my Funko dolls. Y'all see them water polo Funko dolls that they got of me? Don't it look like the doll came to life? Well, you know what? Check this out. That doll wouldn't have been possible without this man right here. Up in Adam, he's the one that gave me my water polo cap and my shirt that doll was wearing. I bet you didn't have no idea that you gave me this stuff and it was going to turn into a Funko doll.
I gotta tell a very quick story. So you saw when he got in the pool. What you didn't see, we gave him the cap. He had a swimsuit. He went to the bathroom. No joke, no joke. 5 minutes went past. We didn't know where he was. Another 5 minutes went past. I'm like, it's 10 minutes now. He's not coming out of the locker room. I'm like, how long does it take to put on a suit? Rumor starts going around amongst the staff. We didn't loop you guys in, but we just thought you were scared. Another 5 minutes, 15 minutes. This guy was nervous as all heck to come out of that locker room, but you made it out. I'm proud of you. And you, most importantly, he scored on Ashleigh.
Hey, I was getting ready to say, because water polo, like you said, is the hardest sport. And I'm a witness because you guys gave me the opportunity to get in the water and try it. You know what I'm saying? Actually, you taught me the egg beater. I'm like, an egg beater? What the hell is an egg beater? You got bacon too? The bacon go good with beating eggs, you know. You know what I'm saying? But Ashleigh, thank you for being my friend, because this girl here, not only have we been friends in the water, but even out of the water, you know what I'm saying? And we've been at many events together and everything, you know what I'm saying? And you, and I gotta shout out my captain, Maggie Stephens. Gotta shout out the captain. Because you and Maggie together, you know what I'm saying, coming to some of my events and surprising me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something, not too many people can bring tears to my eyes. You and Maggie, yeah, you're digging, and you're witness. You're like, wait, why are you crying? Because you're seeing us. I mean, so thank you for your friendship too, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for letting me sponsor y'all, you know what I'm saying? I had a very wonderful time over in Paris, you know what I'm saying, and the whole nine. And before I even go there, I just want to say that I wouldn't be in this position sponsoring you guys without my manager, Rhiannon Ellis. She's the one. Rhiannon, thank you for putting me in this position, because it was you that started the story of Maggie, and you said, well, Flav, what do you think? I think you should sponsor this girl. And you know what I said? Nah, later for that, I'm not going to sponsor the girl. I want to sponsor the team. So So not only am I the hype man for the team, but I'm the sponsor. Man, that's huge to me. But it wouldn't have happened to me without you. So thank you. And I'm gonna tell you guys, last but not least, the time that I had in Paris was real great. It was a very rewarding experience. And a lot of these things that I was able to do, and a lot of the places that I was able to go in Paris would not have been possible without this man right here, Greg. It wouldn't be possible, so thank you. And also everybody, I want y'all to give this man a hand, man, because he ran this tonight. You did the thing tonight, Greg. Yeah. Come on, give him more, give him more. Susie, great movie. I didn't know you was gonna have me in there like that. Wow. That was big. So thank you for having me in the movie and all of that great stuff. Greg, thank you for your hospitality, your friendship. Thank you for your guidance. And thank you for allowing me to do a lot of stuff in Paris that I wasn't gonna be able to do if you wasn't there. Thank you. All right, good night, everybody.
Flavor Flav. Thanks for all your support of Team USA. We're looking forward to seeing you back in the pool very soon. We talked a lot about history tonight. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out two of our pioneers, our legends, DeAndre, Jenny Jacobson-Hughes here in the audience, Hall of Famers. We won't get to any of this if they didn't pack up some years ago. So thank you both for being here. And now I want to bring up our Director of Philanthropy and Advancement, Mr. Grant Jones. Grant, please join us.
Good evening, everyone. What an amazing, amazing night. Just one final round of applause for the athletes, the coaches in this film. Awesome. As I watched the film, I was writing some notes that I'd love to share just as we close this evening. Tonight we witnessed so many extraordinary moments, and you heard from some of the sport's greatest talents. We celebrate the courage, resilience, dreams, and the incredible power of a team, both in the pool and beyond. These athlete journeys are about heart, about hope, and the legacy that we're building together. And their spirit reminds us all why we love this sport so much. My name is Grant Jones, and I have the honor of leading philanthropy and advancement for USA Water Polo. I have the honor of stewarding these athlete and coaches' stories, building relationships on behalf of the sport, and inspiring supporters to invest philanthropically to make water polo bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. First, a heartfelt thank you to all of the athletes and the coaches on this stage and on this film for sharing your bravery, for sharing your stories, your dreams, your goals, with all of us tonight. You taught us all what it means to chase greatness with so much heart. Thank you so much for inspiring me and inspiring so many people. First ones to see this film tonight, and I can't wait for this to launch beyond this room. And to everyone in this room, thank you so much from the bottom of all of our hearts. Thank you for joining us tonight, for believing in these athletes. Yes, yeah. And equally important for being part of the USA Water Polo community. You are the families, the donors, the coaches, the friends, the teammates, and the fans who lift up these athletes every single day. You are the foundation that makes an Olympic journey possible, and you are part of this story as well. Your belief fuels these athletes and coaches' dreams, and you inspire the next generation, many of whom are with us tonight, who, after watching this film, might just dream a little bit bigger tonight. And I love that. Now, I invite you to join me in a special moment. If you don't mind, please get out your cell phones and turn on your flashlights. Hold your lights up high, all the way. A little bit higher. Yeah. It's amazing. Take a look around. This is what belief looks like. And this is what community feels like. Tonight, and every day, we shine a light on these athletes. Your light tonight represents your belief in these athletes and in the future of USA Water Polo. And we send a message to every athlete on this stage and in the audience. We believe in you, and we're behind you. Every step, every splash, and every goal along the way. Tonight we have one more special opportunity to make a difference. On the screen behind me and on your program, you'll find a QR code. It's an invitation to show your support for the women's national team. 100% of donations made tonight will directly support this team and these athletes. Every gift, no matter the size, makes a difference in the lives of these athletes and helps build the future of our sport. If you are inspired by what you saw tonight, if you are inspired by what you felt tonight, we invite you to shine your light even brighter by investing in these athletes and their incredible journey. Simply scan the QR code, and with just a few clicks, you can make a lasting impression and impact and help make more nights like tonight possible. In closing, thank you so much for your energy, your engagement, and your generosity, not only tonight, but also in the future. This is what happens when a sport and its community come together. We don't just watch greatness happen, we make greatness happen together. It's an incredible honor and privilege to share this stage for 2 minutes with remarkable people who inspire the country. Thank you to everyone for shining your light tonight, for believing in these athletes, and for investing in the future of USA Water. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Grant. Don't forget, scan that QR code, help support Team USA. Once again, a big thanks to everyone that made this night possible. Thanks so much to our athletes for being up here. Ashleigh, Rachel, Coach Krikorian, I need Mescall here as well. Thank you all for coming. One thing that came up tonight was support women's water polo. Oh, there it is. NCAA Women's Water Polo Championship. It's coming up May 11th. It's Mother's Day. I know, but it is Mother's Day. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Watch live on ESPNU. We like more water polo on TV. If you watch stuff on TV, then more stuff gets on TV. That's a great way to support water polo. Please tune in. And if you can, head to the Watch Me Sports Bar in Long Beach to watch a little watch party action in LB, 9 a.m. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you at the pool very soon. And go Team USA.